The following fan project will feature scenes from Dragon Ball properties. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z Kai, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, and Dragon Ball Daima are all owned by Funimation, Toei Animation, Capsule Corp Tokyo, Shueisha, Akira Toriyama, and Toyo Taro. Please support every and all official releases. Despite how my tone may sound, I wish not to bash or disrespect anyone. Though, to be honest, he's making it hard to do. Only to dispute or debunk the statements made in this video. While writing the script for the second episode of Let Me Put You On GT, which is totally coming out soon, I am so sorry. I usually turn on some random video as white noise while I work. But that white noise soon turned brown. Meet Justin Stin. If you don't know who he is, he's one of the most comprehensive Dragon Ball YouTubers on the platform, known for his many videos retelling the various arcs of Dragon Ball's various sagas. They're quite enjoyable actually, but his opinions on the other hand? Fans clamored for Cell to return, despite the fact that Frieza's return was shat on. Dude, if Toriyama brought back Cell the same way he did Frieza, that jumping power would have been so egregious. You claimed Cell Max was a big blundering monster, which is true, but you ignore Enidaza and Hirudegarn. Your arguments would have been more effective with them.
Size means nothing in Dragon Ball if the fight isn't exciting.
Also called Max a giant toddler who couldn't speak, strategize, who would scream and flail his arms. Leave my Tism rep alone! You mentioned that you understand the references to Godzilla. Not just any Godzilla, but Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla is an unstoppable creation of death. And for anyone who's seen Shin Godzilla, then you should understand the unspeakable terror that a sentient Cell Max could bring. It's terrifying to think of how many cells they could have gotten since the first iteration of Cell. They, at the very least, know of Boo. I'd say it's safe to assume that they collected some in the near decade since his release. And if Max had the sentience, it's frightening to think of what he could have done.
His creators admitted he wasn't finished, so why throw him into the battle at all?
I can't see how you watched the movie or read the manga, because Ito tells Magenta he isn't ready. Only reason Max was freed is due to Magenta saying fuck it because his empire was crumbling in front of him. Not to forget the fact that numerous planet busters were at his doorstep and his 2 chances of survival are now trying to stop him. Really hate to repeat myself, but if Cell Max was actually done, y'all wouldn't be able to comprehend how difficult in God tier this menace would have been. Even if they called Jiren, every fighter from the Tournament of Power, and the Gods of Destruction, it would have been game over, man! Game over, man. Game over. You use Cell's intelligence, or in your words,
Chess matches and monologues,
as a plus against Max, when in reality, you're comparing apples to oranges. All we saw from Max was fighting. We were never given a glimpse of anything else. Ironically, Cell's best big brain plays were always outside of combat, because they definitely weren't there when he was fighting, or just existing as a character. Though, during his bouts, he was evolving, but he was still a scrub. Both Cell and Cell Max achieved their purpose in their stories pretty well, even with some bumps. Like bro is being so obtuse. He shits on the good stuff and the bad stuff like a goober. You're looking at this from an entertainment standpoint, not a creative point of view, which is very dangerous. For new generations of fans regarding Dragon Ball, or people wanting to get into it, they'll take your word at face value, especially with your platform, seeing as you've gained a large amount of fans on your channel. But I'm not trying to throw a dig at my fellow Sea Warriors. Our community is already divided because of misconceptions and media literacy. For example, Boo-Han versus Kid Buu, an unnecessary debate which is created by media literacy.
Also, the Yamcha slander ends here. How the hell was he supposed to know the Cyberman was going for blood? You probably wouldn't even know he could control how to delete itself.
Baloney, fudge, and mustard! My life is being ruined by the internet!
Called Mutchy a boring, wacky villain, which is so disrespectful to the wacky villains of Dragon Ball, when that's been the staple of the series since its first chapter. Monster Carrot may seem to be a rapper just with swag and appear cuddly, but if he touches you with his hands, you're fucking cooked. Then there's the Man Wolf, the wolf who turns into a man in the sight of a full moon. Let's not forget about the Invisible Man or Giran. Ain't no way bro is actually omitting the goofballs from the Tournament of Power. Dr. Rhoda had more screen time in the tournament than Krillin. Oh yeah, the fucking trio did danger.
Their team was eliminated first.
But I guess Mutchy Mutchy is a lame-ass bum. Let's not forget about the battle between the Power Brothers and the GT crew. One of the best fights in Dragon Ball. Not top 10, but it's close. And when they're brought to Mutchy, they were quivering in their boots. The same niggas who had Goku in a chokehold, whimpering like the child who got a phone call sent to his mother about misbehaving in class. Honestly, you should have said that about Lude. It was built up as this massive force of nature that space wouldn't be ready to handle. A god of destruction. But turns out to be a giant fumbling robo baby who flails his arms and screams a lot. Well, the fight was kind of funny, but not as good as the battle against Cell Max. Like, bruh, so much misinformation and omitting stuff. That's two of the biggest issues with modern media discourse. Now, with the Heeters, it's reasonable to say that they were forgettable, but they were little fish in a big pond. They were handling shit too big for their britches. And that kinda was the point. Not every villain needs to be grandiose in their presentation. They were low-key villains. Dr. Gero was only in the series for 12 chapters, but made the biggest impact that could never be replicated. Timelines destroyed, millions upon billions upon trillions of people dead because of a man's hatred for a little monkey boy, all from the comfort of his lab.
Villain. Gas goes from silent enforcer to anime boss with no real personality in between.
Gas just wanted to make his older brother proud and be of use to him. The whole arc is based around manipulations caused by Ellic. As you mentioned previously about chess games, Ellic was trying to play chess, but the board was beyond his scope of comprehension. Your statement about the sympathy regarding Gas's situation is so face value. You're not even diving deep into the moment. You even show the panel while talking about it. He's cursed with being the strongest because of his brother pawning on a gig he couldn't dream of completing, and meddling with forces he couldn't control. You showed Gas dying, which was shocking because Frieza shows up like the Undertaker in Rex's house. I could go into detail about how Frieza's appearance was perfectly set up throughout the arc, but that's your job. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Ellic watched as his brother died with no thought of genuine remorse. The same brother who gaslit Gas, telling him it was for his own good. He even gaslit Granola to work for him, knowing he was the one who killed his mother. That's Ellic's ability. Not magic, not shape-shifting, not key control, but to manipulate things in order for him to be on top. You underplaying the situation like it's trivial is genuinely degrading and disrespectful. Like, I'm trying to be cordial here, but it grinds my gears how you're treating this moment in the story. The cultural imprint the story has in Japan could help readers relate to how Gas is as a character. Wanting approval from your family is super important in Japan's culture. Honestly, in any culture in general. And the thought of your brother pawning you for some bullshit? That's a lot to swallow. Especially if they don't give a genuine crap about your well-being. Nor allowing you to give your own thoughts about their decisions. Only for them to be shot down with the simple phrase, "It's for your own good." And the layers get deeper, seeing as this arc has numerous families involved. Goku and his father Bardock, Granola and his mother. The Heeters are siblings, which makes the turn of Oil and Maki joining the Frieza Force even more fucked up beyond compare. Goku himself even tried to talk Gas out from dealing with his brother's bullshit because he could relate with this incident with Raditz.
Yes, the past can hurt, but the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it.
But you wouldn't see that. 'Tis a shame.
Tell us now, Greek, what's your name?
Why, yes, my name is Dolltaki.
Now for a warning before I jump into this portion. No matter what a villain does, it shouldn't be defended at all. No matter what. But to say Dolltaki failed as a villain just because he was creepy? Bruh, that's the point! His creepy shit isn't supposed to be likable! So Scar killing his brother and trying to steal his wife is kid-friendly. Or, better yet, Jafar being a meanie to women and kidnapping them and trying to force a genie to break one of his rules is great for kids? No, it isn't. Get out of here!
Lie down before you hurt yourself.
Dolltaki actually starts to undress her. Yes, you heard that right. Pan, who is canonically around 10 years old in GT, is seconds away from having her clothes removed on screen before Goku thankfully interrupts.
That wasn't Goku. It was a call from Dr. Mew. That's how I know you weren't watching. Like, good googly moogly, man.
It's supposed to be played off for laughs, but it's instead one of the most disturbing moments in the entire series.
I know for a fact, dude didn't say the clothes removal scene was made for laughs. Which is a downright lie! She was crying for Goku to come get this nigga, bro. The fact that you're not looking deeper into this, there's an actual phobia for people who can't move. He calls the dolls by name and calls Pan by her name in doll form. What's to say that these are the actual names of the dolls? That's fucking horrifying, bro! I hope y'all don't mind if I get casual. Like, bro, dead ass. I didn't want to see that junk either, but I had to accept the fact that it happened and move on with my life. Just like with Oolong, one of the oldest homies, will be chilling at the cookout every year, despite the fact that this man used to be a serial kidnapper. And plus, Taki wasn't even the main villain. He was a piece of the puzzle. And here's another plus. In the end, he got dealt with appropriately.
Freaky ass.
Most glaring examples of wasted potential. From the moment he's introduced, he's talked up as this powerful, ancient ruler with connections to the dark magic affecting the entire demon realm. But once he actually shows up, he's mostly just a joke.
Peel off. None left to say. Let's move on. Actually, let's dive back into this. Pilaf's been a joke character since he was introduced. Bro, Pilaf's almost destroyed the planet more times than all the villains in Dragon Ball. The first few scenes we saw of Gomah, he was already a goober, so even when he gets cosmic power, he is still a goober. And the defeat of Gomah is one of the numerous times where the crew's defeated a villain in a goofy way. For example, Super 17 hiding during the near end of the Tournament of Power until it was time to come back for Jiren's defeat. Let's not forget the time that Hip flopped for Monaka, but y'all popped so hard for that. So what's the difference? You mentioned the gimmick surrounding the third eye, but the power pole, one of the greatest weapons in Dragon Ball history, used for laundry by Roshi. Did you guys know that Goku was about to receive eternal life from Roshi? But he couldn't, due to the fact that the Phoenix died from food poisoning. Dragon Ball's always been filled with these kinds of jokes. Stop being so obtuse. Oh boy, another rousing round of misinformation and misconceptions.
There are a lot of ways to mess up a villain, but Bio Broly might be the most baffling example of character assassination in the entire Dragon Ball franchise.
First of all, you're cutting out a major part of the assassination of Broly's character. He actually did that when he got pissed on in Second Coming. Bio Broly woke up in pain, his organs exposed, while niggas are trying to kill him, while he's in his legendary Super Saiyan form. You know, the form that rips your flesh and cooks you from the inside?
I swore you made a video on this.
And now, he can fucking regenerate, so his pain will never cease. You comment on the fact that he's slippery. Yeah, duh. Bro is fresh out the oven. Broly was big chilling a couple minutes ago. His day be so fine, but now he's getting attacked. Also, the disrespect to Goten and Trunks is hella face value. He didn't lose to those boys. He lost to the environment around him as they kept dealing with the acid's weakness. I can't believe that you forgot the fact that 18 and Krillin, two seasoned warriors, were also there trying to help defeat him. And to be honest, they couldn't beat him no matter what they tried. That dude was breaking arms like they were Kit Kats.
Shoulder!
He literally got his head chopped off by Kienzan and didn't even notice he got a fresh cut. Remember when you claimed Cell Max was a giant toddler who couldn't speak or strategize, who would just scream and flail his arms? Yeah, well, you should have said that for Broly. And to that I say, leave my tism reps alone. Good Kami, this was hard. This whole video was filled with so many misconceptions and misinformation. I was trying so hard to be cordial about it.
There's so much I want to say, but I'll just come straight from the heart. Justin, had you stated these were your opinions and yours alone, not trying to speak for the community, I wouldn't have made this video, because this is what a fandom is supposed to do. Discuss amongst each other and fellowship. What you have done could damage the progression of the series, especially someone with your platform with over 200k subscribers. People value your opinion. If a new fan were to enter into the product, they could be swayed by your videos, not truly reading or watching the product because of your take about an arc or a villain or a form. You haven't even allowed them to form their own opinion. And executives listen to people like you, which could can the product entirely. In fact, it might cause Toei to not make anything else pertaining to Dragon Ball, especially since Toriyama is dead. They might think it's not worth the hassle. Just think of the climate we're in right now. There's a half a dozen video games they have out currently that aren't being played. There's an ongoing battle for the rights. Japan is in recession. Just look at how Nintendo's handling the financial situation. The series is already in jeopardy, and you're making it worse by talking shit about it. Not giving actual constructive criticism, just bashing it with blanket statements just for the views and revenue. Probably not even taking time to do proper research before making the video. A similar thing happened to Doctor Who in the late 80s. Misinformed people would bash it and talk shit about it. Until the network took it off the air because they were listening to the vocal minority, not realizing their voice held power regarding something like this. But thankfully, it came back, only for it to be dealing with the same problem again. But this isn't about Doctor Who, it's about you, with your platform and with your voice. Be responsible with them, because they might tip the scale for us getting Dragon Ball back. Please continue with your summaries, I quite enjoy them. But regarding your takes, make sure you wipe after you're done. Make sure you go deeper in your readings. Don't look at the story at face value, because you might find something you didn't catch on the first read through. And one more thing I need you to do, just listen closely for me. The first step is to use that hand of yours, Jester. Next, I need you to place your hand on your head. Feel around for a knob, I should say. Now, when you find that knob, I need you to grab that knob. And then, I want you to turn it for me. I want you to keep turning it until you get some sense in you, boy, because your IQ is room temperature.
I see you